Hello there, everybody. My name is Craig Tucholsky, and this is the first video of a series that I have created, and I have called it Playing the Percentages. In this video, I am going to show you how to use data from a ball company's website, specifically Radical Bowling, to find a ball that you want to replace something that you have that has been retired. You want to find something that is the closest to it as possible. So what we're going to do is we are going to utilize the website, find the technical data of the old ball, and try to find a newer ball to match it. So here we go. Okay, so what I want to do now is I want to go into the Radical Bowling website and find the technical data for the Radical Ridiculous. So we're going into Radical Bowling, and we are going to go into the retired bowling balls. So we're going to go find them in the products, then the balls, then click on retired. So then once that comes up, we can go search for the ridiculous. So the best way for me to go through this is I'm going to, let's see, here's the list of the bowling balls. So I want to go in and I want to see the best way to find it. So I'm going to click on the arrow up top, go and put this in alphabetical order. So for me, it's the best way to find the ball that I want to get the technical data on. So it's going to take a while because we're down on the R's, obviously. And once we get there, we click on the ridiculous. And we got one more to go. So let's get there. So we're really close. And then here we go. And now, okay, we are on the ridiculous. So we're going to click into the ball and we're going to get the data on it. So the sheets that I want are going to be at the bottom of this page. So when I scroll down, I want to find the info sheet. That's going to give me all the pertinent information that I want of the ridiculous so I can find the proper replacement. So on this ball, what I want to look for is I want to look for what cover type it is, and I want to make note of the RG numbers. And also I want to make a mental note of the picture of the core, because sometimes, you can take that. If you're just looking for something to match, you can go with that. But since the RG and differential numbers are measured, this is a good gauge for something that is going to be as close to the shape of this as you want. You can see up top, they don't say what cover it has on it, but this one, pretty safe to say that this is a solid cover. So they also made a ridiculous pearl, and at this point in the game, I don't think they made a hybrid. So safe to say this looks solid. And also, I want you to make a mental note of the finish, the 500 pad and compound, because that is also going to be important to try to find a ball as close to this one as possible. So now that we have this information, we are going to go over to, we're going to go back to the bowling balls and the bowling ball list. And I said, unfortunately, with this one, when I first did this, I found a ball that was currently out on the market, but since then, it has been recently retired. So hopefully, while I am saying all of this, that this ball is still available, because I think it is going to be the closest. But normally what I would do is I go into current. But since I did find one, this particular one is a very recently retired bowling ball. So what I would do normally when I do these searches is that I would go through each ball and try to find those numbers, because that'd be a gauge. But in this search, I happened to find that the closer was the closest to the ridiculous, because I'm going to go down to the bottom. I'm going to go into the info sheet, download the info sheet so I can get the numbers. And with this, I should say that since most people were throwing 15-pound bowling balls, I'm going with the 15-pound numbers. But if you throw any other weight, make note that they have all the weights, RGs of the weights in there from 12 pounds to 16 pounds. So you want to make note of the weight that you are throwing, the RG numbers. But you can see on this one, the RG numbers are exactly the same. The picture of the core is identical to the Ridiculous. So basically, this is their updated remake of the Ridiculous. This is the one that they wanted to make to replace it. So if I was going to make a suggestion to replace the Ridiculous, I would go with the Closer. And also, like I said, make a note of the finish that's on it. The original finish on the Ridiculous was a 500 in compound. This one is a 500 3000. So the reason why I say to make a mental note of that is because if you kept the Ridiculous out of box, you want to make sure to get the covers as close as possible. You know, if you want to have as close of a replacement as possible. So if it stayed out of box, you know, if the box finish is a little bit different, but I want to make note of that. But the beauty of it is that when all is said and done, you can just continue to make the surface adjustments to the new ball to match what you want it to do compared to the old one. But like I said, with the Closer, it has the exact same core in it. And we found that by looking up the core numbers rather than, because there's going to be times where the same company makes different small variations of a core. They might look very similar, but they have completely different characteristics. You know, we want to look at what is measured. So that's why I look at the RG numbers, the RG and differential numbers, because these numbers are actually measured. And when you find that match, you are finding the ball that the manufacturer is wanting to be as close to that other ball as them. They're basically remaking it with a newer cover. So the reason why I chose the Ridiculous was because I did find a question on the Radical Bowling fans page specifically asking about the Ridiculous. And I was able to quickly find the Closer that had the matching numbers for the core. So I think the Closer would be a perfect replacement for the Ridiculous. So here it is. Here's my first video of the long series. So if you like this one, I will be posting more. And we'll be going into more technical details about every different aspect of bowling that we can cover. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.